It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have a forum post, I guess in this case a Reddit post, suggested by one of you guys. Shout out to Alistair Noir for submitting this. And this is from, this has been posted to r/Dead by Daylight Rage. And it's titled, I tried 4-man slugging to see if it works. Here's my experience. So I'm really interested to really hear this discussion because I think there's been a very big amount of discussion around slugging lately because of just how ridiculous that the perks have been on Survivor lately, that our only response as a killer player is to literally just slug now because you don't have any other choice. And slugging allows for you to counter at least 10 perks at once. So you pretty much have no other option. And that's very telling for how bad the balance of the game has gotten. So it reads, I've only ever done this once, and it's because the team had builds that didn't allow me to hook at all. I'm more of a casual killer player, and always hear about how slugging has become the best strategy due to certain Survivor perks becoming more popular. I decided to try and see what kind of results I got, and the results were interesting. They were the most fun games I've had in a long time due to a sense of relief. It made me realize how stressful my normal games are. And it's very telling, by the way. This is very telling because it's the main reason why people are slugging in the first place. Is because of that. Right? And mind you, I've mentioned previously, like, there are casual killer players. We're seeing somebody who's a casual killer player sharing their experience. I've been saying this for quite some time. Even as a casual player, I feel stressed playing it. And yes, I use that word on purpose. It wasn't competitiveness I was feeling, but a sense of stress because I was constantly wondering if gens are going to finish before I could even find anyone. No game should ever feel like that. Exactly. Exactly. The DBD community is very, very, very quick to dismiss a killer's experience, to dismiss a killer's fun, to dismiss a killer strategy, to dismiss everything that comes from the killer side. Yet, notice that killer anxiety is still a problem. Casual killer players are struggling. Casual killer players are not able to even have fun or even enjoy the game because they're getting stressed out. Which means less people playing their game. Right? Now we're seeing it right here. Why is this person's experience less important than somebody else's? Because he chooses to play killer, he apparently matters less. That right there is something that I have to ask the DBD community. Why is one person's experience who plays killer way less important than everybody else's? That's crazy to me. They say, of course I got shit in chat, but honestly I didn't care. The games are fun again. I wasn't expecting that. I thought things would feel the same, but with different escape rates. If the best way to enjoy the game is through tactics that only allow one side to have fun, you know the devs have screwed up the balance. This is 100% accurate. 100% true. And the crazy part is that you always will hear it from survivors. Oh, they're slugging. It's not fun. And it's like, but keep in mind that how else are we going to counter these things? You shouldn't be getting mad at the killer player. You should be getting mad at the devs for allowing this to become the game. Because instead of creating a game that actually matters with how well you play, how good you are, all those things would make a goddamn difference, they handheld the survivors all the way out the doors to the point that now they can fly around and soar up the MMR levels and get all these free escapes because they're bad at the game, but the mechanics allow for free wins. The mechanics allow for these supposedly longer matches, but they're actually ending in 5 minutes. They're allowing for Survivor players that are good at the game to be matched with people that don't know what the hell they're doing. Because their system just isn't looking at the nuance. Because keeping in mind that with pallet density, the healing speed upgrades that they've received, the exhaustion perk upgrades they've received, because obviously Vigil got changed and buffed. And obviously Ghost Notes also increasing it by an additional 10%. So exhaustion perks are through the roof. Pallets are through the roof. second chances are still prevalent and super easy to use. It's like you have players that are good at the game, and then they perform at the same exact level as the people who are not experienced at the game because of that much amount of hand-holding, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Why are we rewarding bad play? Like, why are we not rewarding people that are good at the game, that are experienced, that do take the time out to do their research, to actually improve? That's my issue with this game and its balance. Being good at the game means absolutely nothing if you're a killer player. When survivor player can press spacebar, shift W, then press spacebar, then shift W, then press spacebar, then shift W. Like, what are we doing, bro? Kind of insane. So, this person says, they quote, if the best way to enjoy the game is through tactics and only allow one side to have fun, you know the devs have skirted the balance. Exactly my feelings on every single effing conversation about whether slugging, tunneling, gen rushing, specific perks, or whole builds. Honorable mention to B&P fast track stakeout, certain killers and or their add-ons, specific team comps, strategies, whatever is acceptable or not. As a gamer, I'm mad about the imbalance that causes this, but I'm personally angry about the people who treat it as an all or nothing situation, which I'm completely in agreement with that. That makes complete sense. I'm just saying. This person says, I'm a survivor main. I didn't enjoy slugging when you had to sit through it like the killer downing and then hooking everyone if you wanted to. Now that I can leave after everyone's down, I'm good with it. Which is another thing that we can talk about, which comes down to the double standards. Killer players have no way to leave the game any sooner, but yet survivor players can. If everyone's downed at once, they can fly out the gate, or fly out the lobby, or whatever you want to call it. And killer players can't do that. If the gates are done and powered and all this type of stuff, they just gotta have to sit out that whole entire endgame collapse if people don't decide to leave. And it's like, oh, but just push them out. You can say the same thing about people being slugged on the ground. Why not just alt tab, go somewhere else? Why don't you walk away from your PC then, if you're getting bled out? It's like, those things are not the same. Yet only one side received an actual change. And that's my problem. It's a double standard. Because why can't killers also be like, alright, gates powered, you can abandon now? Because they already got the W. They already are at the gate. Like, why can't they also abandon too? You know what I mean? So this person says your final take is key here, and you acknowledge that the survivors in your game did not have fun. The problem is, how can behavior solve this? It's simple enough to add a stacking gen speed buff when survivors are hard tunneled, because that can be tracked by consecutive hook states, but things get more complicated from there. They would need to give something for the killer to give the killer more power when they play the right way by doing the best 12 hook. Otherwise, killers will let them in position. They can't do shit against Swifts. How could they address slugging? All the killer buffs in the world could be added in, and Infectious Fright Billy would still be more deadly for the 4-man slug against solo queue than stacking theoretical buffs by 12 hooking. On the flip side, base kit unbreakable will be far too strong. That's what I'm saying. We can't sit here and use fun as an argument when we have to understand that fun is not in the discussion when talking about balancing. At the end of the day, when you're trying to counter something with any multiplayer game, you're trying to counter something. And a good example would be Siege, right? A good example is Rivals. If I'm seeing a high flyer, I'm probably going to pull out Punisher or Bucky, right? If I'm seeing like a really slow tank and a dive, I'm probably also going to have to switch to Hulk so I can dive too. Or like, you know, I could be able to peel, right? If I'm playing Siege and I'm like, okay, they keep breaching, I'm going to have to pick Bandit or Cade, right? So I can protect the walls with an electric charge, right? Like, these are things that are in games. You counter things. So the counter should not be at the same level as doing nothing, is my point. Like, the amount of effort it would take should not be unequal, right? For example, if I'm looking at Siege and I'm like, okay, well, Thermite has to put the charge on the wall. Okay, well, all I have to do is put my battery on the wall. Those are equal. They both work the same way, right? So then the response is, okay, person brings EMP, they throw it at the charge, and then boom, he places his own charge on the wall. All of those things are the same. You press one button, there you go. You press one button, there you go. You press one button, there you go. All of those things are the same. They all are equal to the amount of effort that goes into it. The same thing with seeing, say, a high flyer like a Storm or Iron Man, and I switch to Punisher. And their response, they can go, okay, I don't have to play a flying character. I can pick maybe Hela, or I can pick something else that can help counter him, because like he doesn't do a lot of damage. He has DPS. Maybe I can hit him harder with like Hela or Phoenix, or I can switch to a different character or do a different strategy, and then that would work, right? Because now the whole point of it bringing Punisher, say, in that situation was to counter that. Now he's like, well, now I got to switch back to something else. That's just how it works. That's how games work. You counter things. And my issue is that when it comes down to the survivor side in this game, like, they pretty much have to do nothing in that sense. They press one button to disable everything that the killer does. A flashlight, you press what? Right click or something? Or left click, whatever it is. You click, pretty much, that's it. Yet the killer has to hit once, then wipe, follow them, hit again, down them, then from there have to try to turn the right way, but all they had to do was click. What? People like DS, for example, you just have it because you got down. You didn't actually have to do anything. That's my problem. That's my issue with this game's balancing. And none of that conversation is it had to do with fun. If you find it fun, perfect. But at the end of the day, it's not about the fun factor, because fun is subjective for everybody. The person that I'm facing, say, that's playing Storm and I'm Punisher, is probably not having fun. They're like, damn, I'm getting blasted out the air from Punisher. But at the end of the day, it adds depth and it adds an interesting layer to the game. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, it just makes no sense that we can somehow say, oh, but it's not fun, but then you also have shit that's unfun that you have to counter in the game. It's just like, it's ridiculous. This person says 100%, this game should not be stressful. I'm a Survivor main, mostly solo queue and duo, sometimes, and play killer on the side. Survivor, even in solo queue, is not as stressful as playing killer on a non-S tier or A tier. And even when you are playing an S or A, the gens still be flying if the survivors are competent enough. I just think there really isn't a feasible way besides making gens take longer to finish base kit, in my opinion. There are a lot of perks that can help with gen speed. In my opinion, there should be we should get rid of gen perks altogether, both sides, or keep the perks and make the gens longer to repair. Which I 100% agree, because the issue has been the gen speeds. Like, they are getting done super fast. Everybody who's been playing this game is seeing this, because we're seeing the fact that not only is there fast track that was already going crazy, which they did nerf it, but still, it's still permanent progress of 5% at a time. They're still decisive. They're still dead hard. There's still sort of the burden. There's still all the like long list of perks that you can keep it going and going and going. And it's like the only response we have to that, because no matter what we do, the gens are gonna zoom past us anyway, is to leave them on the ground. That's a problem. Like, because, oh, the survivors aren't having fun, but neither is the killer, right? Because some people want to go around and hook. Some people want to play the game normally, but they can't. And speaking for myself, I don't even want to play the game. Like, it's unfun in general. Either whether I slug or not, gens fly regardless. So it's like, what is the point? I go in to play a match that's at least maybe 10 minutes. But no, it ends in 4. It's like, okay, well, I guess not. Like, what is the point? So this person says you can't make the gens longer to complete without giving survivors anything or punishing the killer for tunneling or slugging. That's completely inaccurate. That's completely inaccurate, because of the fact that regardless, this has been already in the game since its inception. They already have anti-tunnel mechanics in the game, with the endurance off of hook, with the extra timer on the hook, with extra perks off of hook. These things already exist. You're like, oh, but you need to punish the killer. No, you don't. The punishments already exist. It's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, it makes the strategy stronger and the gap between the strong and the weak. Like, bro, what do you, like, bro, like, a lot of here's the problem. Oh, the strategies are stronger. Okay, but the S tiers don't need to use them anyway. Make the gens longer, this S tiers will further not have to use it. But then that will also allow for the low tiers who have to use it, have a little more time to do it. The only time that you really should see tunneling and slugging is from the lowest tier killers, because they don't have the option to chase one and dilly-dally and go somewhere else and dilly-dally some more. They have to get rid of people quick because they have no choice. A pig and a ghost face and a skull merchant and a trapper are all moving at the same speed. They're not exactly running any quicker. But Blight, re-nerf, is going to be able to go across the map. Dracula can teleport. Like, Dredge can at least teleport. He's not that fast, but he can at least teleport. Unless you're a Nightfall. Freddy, stuff like that, can teleport. So that's why they have more of a chance. The issue is not the slugging and the tunneling. The issue is the fact that there is no time. So people resort into using strategies in order to keep it quick. You have to keep up. It makes no sense. It's like you're in a race and you're like, oh, but that person's too fast. And it's like, oh, but then we should punish you for running faster. It's like, wait, but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to run faster. Like, or let's say if it was like cars or something like that, or like, we could even see Mario Kart or something like, oh, this person is moving pretty quick with their setup. You want to switch your build around and put it on get some mushrooms, and then they want to tell you, oh no, you shouldn't be using that. You should punish them for using mushrooms. It's like, bro, but they're already running super fast or driving super fast. Like, why are we punishing the player for trying to keep up with them? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So they say slugging, tunneling and slugging has always been in the game. It wasn't every single match like it is today, though. It's become a much worse experience for both sides because of gen progression perks as well as gen regression. They say back in the day it really was just roll and pop and proof thyself that was pretty prevalent. I don't see perks being taken out of the game anytime soon, and behavior is known to quote unquote balance perks with changing how the game operates. I'm saying feasible to me because obviously I'm not a game dev, but logically speaking that's the only way I see them making a meaningful change to the fallout of gens going by super fast besides the BS diminishing returns, which they never responded apparently. So let's see, which is the whole, so they're talking about like a couple other characters, which is not really that great. That doesn't really pertain too much to the point. This person says, just don't complain about Survivor countering slugging, because at this point you're asking for people to play in Swifts and plus perks just to counter such playstyles. That's kind of the issue though. Never had a problem with that. Countering playstyles is part of the game for both sides. If Survivor or Killer has X perk, respond by playing around it. If you're expecting them to do a certain thing before the match starts, add the appropriate perks. Exactly. So they say it's fine if they have full builds to counter slugging. You just tunnel the dumbest one out of the 3 men. It's much easier if you slug to avoid DS, Dead Hard, LE, Fast Track, Self-Preservation, Shoulder the Burden. With no second chance perks, there is very little time waste. I'd mostly deal with DS and Dead Hard off of one player for the 3-man slug. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's mainly why people are doing it. And then there's people that want to say, oh, just stop trying to win. It's like, tell that to the entire community. And you're just fundamentally ignoring just how games work. You play a game to win. That's how they work. You can play a game for fun, it's a completely different genre. That's why farming games exist, relaxing games exist, like stuff like that. Cozy, I think they're called, or something like that. Those exist. There's not really a win condition. But a multiplayer PvP game, that's about winning. Like, you're facing people in order to win. That's how it works. Multiplayer games that are not about winning are stuff like Animal Crossing, like Stardew Valley. You know what I mean? And those are predominantly more farming, kind of decorative, like decoration of your house and stuff. Like, those are more about that than it is to not win. Like, it just doesn't make sense to say that it isn't. You know? And then of course you got the one person that comes up with some nonsense though. Like, what? I don't believe you're a casual player if you find your game stressful. If you're what? Like, what? What? So as you can see, right, the Survivor main has arrived. They say it sounds like a skill issue on your part that led you to slugging because you can't adapt to counter anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, we found the gaslight. You know, sound the alarm. Wee woo, wee woo. We found the gaslighter, because this is what it is. What the hell are they talking about? Oh, it's a skill issue. No, it's not. No, it's not. What are you talking about? Because you're going against goobers on your killer games does not mean everyone else is. Like, they gotta learn to speak for themselves, not for everybody else, okay? Because the rest of us actually go against the meta. They go against Swift. They go against smart survivors that know how to use perks correctly. So when we speak about these things, we're like, yo, I keep facing this every match. I need to sit here and try to counter these things because every match I've been playing, the end screen constantly has the same 4 to 6 perks every build. For some reason, it's really odd that we keep seeing it constantly. And oh no, it's a skill issue. We're countering the fucking perk. This is actually hilarious. They say that slugging is fun for survivors. A lot of us have just been brainwashed into hating it. There's legitimately no reason, well, besides from the whole losing part. Like being slugged would be less fun than being on a gen or hook. And then he downvoted. I'm like, bro, they're clearly trolling, like, or being sarcastic. Like, obviously, right? Like, it's pretty funny. I queued up to play DBD, not Slug Simulator. I'm like, you're playing DBD more if you're slugged than you're on a gen or on a hook. Very true. That I do agree with. Because, like, what is playing DBD to the majority of these survivor players, right? Like, they're unhooking, filling bar, go back to gen, fill bar, someone got injured, fill bar, die in 2 seconds in chase, fill bar, go on hook, fill bar again. Like, what is the gameplay? Like, oh, I wanted to play DBD. I'm like, what's DBD then? Because every time I've either seen any survivor gameplay or if I played survivor, it has been literally just me going around the map, filling a bar. Where's the gameplay? Like, every time. And then if I do get chased, the resources are gone. So it's like, what the hell are we talking about? The chases don't even last that long. Because, keep in mind, the reason I say that is because if you're going against a smart killer, they're not going to be chasing you for like 12 minutes straight. Like, they're like, yo, I can't be sitting here chasing this guy all day. They'll just leave. So if they can tell that you're good, they're like, we got to get out of here. Which makes sense strategically. And that's my point. Right? I'm saying that from experience. Like, I'm not going to chase the same person for super long if they're good at chase, because I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, I would like to, but the game is not designed around that. The game is designed around being fast and getting things done quickly. I just don't have a way around that. So I'm like, I just gotta leave, unfortunately. It would have been fun. I can't do it. So I'll have to break off, go somewhere else. That's just how it goes. So those chases are just not that interesting because it's like, well, I got 1 vault in, maybe 2, and then he has to leave because the gens are gonna fly. And if they decide to overcommit and then continue in the chase, he still just loses regardless, which makes it even less interesting. This person, yeah. Who in their right mind's like slugging? It's just people who don't just give up and get on their phone, but continue playing instead. I like this guy. I like this guy, man. He's funny. What am I supposed to do in this situation? I just sit there waiting for my teammates? I'm like, you're supposed to do the same exact thing with our general hook, but crawl on top of it. Yo, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you're filling a bar, bro. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, I don't like, they want to pretend like it's the most riveting gameplay. Oh man, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you're just pressing spacebar every once in a while the bar fills up slowly. Like, what are you talking about? Where's the gameplay? I just want to end this miserable experience. Like, it's more miserable to sit on a gen all day and watch the bar fill. That's where I'm coming from. It's really uninteresting. Like, that's why you don't see me playing it, because it's so boring. Like, you're just sitting there playing bar filler simulator. Like, what the hell? Like, the gameplay is literally I save, I heal, I save, I heal, I run, I run, I run, I save, I heal, I repair. Like, it's the same nonsense every damn match. It's like, it's boring, dude. It's like, come on, man. At least with Killer, it's like I'm testing different strategies. I'm using my ability in unique ways. trying to make like use the tools I have, right? Because every killer's different. Use the tools I have differently for each map. Like, that's how it works. It's very unique and interesting. But I want to hear what you guys think of the topic at hand today. What do you think of the topic? Do you think that slugging could ever, well, I can't really say be better because it's as good as it's going to be, but the situation to improve, really, because obviously there's so much to try to balance around. You think it'll ever be fixed? Maybe you won't. Let me know your thoughts. Become a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Hargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.